Hola, muy buen día a todos los presentes. El día de hoy nos reunimos para llevar a cabo la segunda jornada del Quinto Encuentro Universitario de TLCAN al T-MEC, transformando 30 años de integración regional. Para dar inicio a esta, comenzaremos con la conferencia Youth Perception of Ecological Citizenship Through Sustainable Consumption, para la cual contamos en el presidio con Samanta, Simonavičė, Directora del Departamento de Relaciones Internacionales y Proyectos de la Escuela de Negocios de Lituania, y el doctor Romero, coordinador del programa de estudios sobre América del Norte, como moderador. Un fuerte aplauso para ambos.
You want to know, or you want to say something? No? I just want to say something. Okay. Bueno, buenos días a todos. Bienvenidos nuevamente a esta actividad. Gracias por estar presentes. Esta actividad la vamos a desarrollar en inglés porque le comentaba yo a Samanta que pocos de ustedes hablan lituano, entonces no tendría sentido hablar hoy en lituano. Pero haremos la sesión en inglés porque además la gente del observatorio habla inglés, la gente de negocios internacionales habla inglés, la gente de la UV habla inglés, entonces no creo que haya mayor inconveniente. Muchísimas gracias, Samantha. Thank you very much for being here with us this morning. It's especially important for us to have the opportunity to hear you today here in Veracruz after so many hours from your home country. Para quien no sepa, Lituania está lejos, ¿sí? Pero bueno, yo me gustaría solo comentar que agradecemos su presencia y que está aquí con nosotros desde un lugar tan lejano. The idea today is that she's going to be presenting about her topic of research, which is ecological citizenship. It's a very important topic now on sustainable development, and I guess it's going to be very interesting for everyone here today with us. So, Samantha, thank you very much for being here, and please, we have 35 minutes for you.
Muchas gracias. This is what I know. Well, I will be standing. It's better for me. The word that I know in Spanish is Dia de Muertos. Muchas gracias. Buenos días. So my topic, youth perceptions of ecological citizenship through sustainable consumption. This is a small part of my research that I'm doing in my PhD thesis, final thesis. It's my last year of being on PhD studies, and the next year, hopefully, it will be the defending part. Just turn a little bit. Yeah, so this is an example when we are talking about the small things about being ecological. First of all, we should start from ourselves. The main example and the most convenient example probably would be clothes, because this is the topic and the problem for the girls every day what to wear. And this is, we see an example of the fast fashion. It's making a very huge footprint after ourselves and after big factories and companies. The fast fashion is a very big problem, and it's a problem when we are buying clothes from the fast fashion. And the second problem is the clothes that we don't buy. The fashioners are going away, and the clothes that are not sold, they are thrown out into the big trashes, and it's already a hill of trashes, and there is a lot of countries that has a lot of trash of clothes that were not sold, that somebody didn't bought these clothes. The fast fashion are making very, very big lines of the same clothes, and of course, they are not selling everything out. So it goes everything into this kind of trashes, and they are huge, and it's a very sad part. So the clothes that we are wearing, by washing them, we are throwing microplastics away. So it depends what material clothes we are wearing, but if it's synthetic, it has a lot of microplastic inside the clothes. So when we are washing clothes, one country are washing out 500,000 tons of microplastic. And 500,000 tons microplastic, how much is that? It looks like a lot, but it's hard to understand, like what size is that? So I made an example for you. How does it look like? 500,000 tons of microplastic. It's equal 550 Eiffel towers. Sorry. So one Eiffel Tower, it's a huge one, you know. So imagine 50 of them. So one country are living after themselves 500,000 tons of microplastic. Then polyester. When we are buying clothes, they are made, some of clothes, they are made of polyester. So 63 million tons of polyester. It's also when the factories are making them. So this, I would say, like trash that we are bringing after ourselves, it's equal 77 Golden Gate bridges. So it's a huge bridge, and imagine 77 of them. So just to realize, the numbers, because the numbers it looks like just the numbers, but when we are seeing an example, so it's totally different. The waste, 92 million tons of waste of clothes. It's not food. It's clothes. Those who factories, companies, like fast fashion brands, that they do not sell them, it's waste. These clothes are going into the trash. And one country are leaving 92 million tons of waste, which is equal 15 pyramids of Cheops. You know the size of pyramid, so imagine 15 of them. It's when you see by your eyes, if you imagine how many ways we are living. So it's very important, recycling part. And some companies, they do present that, like H&M, for example, that they are recycling and they are making new clothes from those that they were not sold, or maybe those that you bring back to the store. They are kind of recycling, so I hope it's not marketing. I hope it's true. We cannot check that unless we have maybe friends working there, so they can tell that it's true. To make clothes, factories are also leaving the emission. So it's 5 billion tons of emission that is going into our atmosphere, which is equal 100 Great Walls of China. So this is how, like, it looks like simple things, just clothes, but even clothes are making very, very huge impacts into our environment. And the last example, to imagine, to make clothes, we need water, of course. So the water is used in factories, like 215 billion tons of water are used to make clothes, which is equal 1.3 Everest. Can you imagine? This is a very big impact that we are leaving with very simple thing, just clothes. And if we are using, like taking an example, to make cups, the one that it's one-time use, it's not, or for example, bottles, paper. So every product to make, we need, we are using water, we are putting emission into the environment. So there is a lot of things. So it's just for you to understand that simple things like clothes are making leaving very, very big impact. And it's for you just to understand, like, maybe like how to become an ecological citizen, or maybe you already are, because you are thinking from where you are buying your clothes, maybe from the second hand, which is great because it's already ecological citizen behavior, I would say, because you're thinking about what are you doing and how to leave the less impact out of yourself. So ecological citizenship, it's cognitive, emotional, and practical. So it means that you think, you feel emotionally you are attached with the problem about the world, and practically you are applying in your behavior. What are you doing? So this is the parts of ecological citizenship. It's awareness, concern, social and personal norms, values, and knowledge. If you have at least a couple of these parts, so you can call yourself already an ecological citizen because you are concerned, you have knowledge about that, and maybe you are doing something about that. Maybe you are controlling your behavior, maybe you are controlling your consumption behavior. So everything is very involved. And what we should do, it's just small tips. If you are not an ecological citizen, you are already a little bit one step because you already have knowledge, which I showed you statistics, and I saw from your faces that you were shocked that it's huge and it's a very big impact. So you have a little knowledge already about that. So you can call yourself first step ecological citizen. And it's better to buy less clothes, and use them, for a longer period, because especially for girls, it's very, very big problem when you put a dress and to the birthday or to the wedding of your friend, and you cannot wear the same dress for the second time to go to another celebration. Yeah, it's a very big problem, I know. Because you already have a picture with that dress, and you cannot go to, like, you put on your Instagram, and you cannot go with the same dress to another friend's birthday because it's like, come on, it's the same dress. So it's hard, but then there is an option, like to rent a dress or to borrow from a friend, to borrow to your friend same clothes. This is an option. This is an ecological thinking, what to do, not to buy a lot of dresses. Or maybe it's an option, with the same dress to do something different. Maybe to put some accessories, or maybe just to do different here, and the dress will look differently. So there is plenty of options. This is an ecological thinking, ecological awareness, which is very important. I know it's very hard to change our behavior, but it's possible. It's not so hard how it looks like. First steps, they are hard, but when you start doing that, it's not a big problem, I think, because you have already the thinking part. Then it's better to buy better quality clothes and fix them. Of course, it's a very good option to buy clothes from the local person that are making handmade clothes, because then it's not a mass making, like, it's not mass, it's just a couple of clothes. It means that they are not using so much water to produce that, there is no emission. It's much more sustainable to buy from local people, and local people, it's not local store that all the clothes are from China. It's real handmade people who are making, locally clothes. Let's do the less laundry. What is less laundry? It means that try to wear clothes not one time and put to wash it. If it's not smelling bad, of course you have to wash it. But if it's, for example, jacket or pants, if it's possible to wear multiple times without washing it, it's better because every time you are washing clothes, microplastics are going into the environment. So it's very related. It looks like it's not a big thing. You're just washing your clothes, but it's a big thing because when you do the laundry, if you notice there is like some etiquettes here, like with some tags written the temperature, how much, like which degree you have to wash. And it's not just some like kind of recommendation. If you are washing clothes above that degree, it means that you are washing out more microplastics from the clothes. So it also, for example, if it's written 40 or 30, it's better because less microplastics are washed out during one washing cycle. And for example, it's better, even it's written to wash 60 degrees, it's better to wash 40 or less because hot water are washing very fast the microplastics and all these things. If it's colder water, then it's not washed out. And of course, when you wash in very high temperature, you are making your clothes not so long term because if it's a high temperature, you wash microplastics and then the clothes are becoming, how to say, very thin and it's very easy to destroy them, because they are not so strong anymore. That's why they put, polyester and all these things to have strong material. And when you wash in very high temperature, it becomes very fragile. And of course, to buy used clothes from the second hand and of course to rent clothes, dresses maybe, or some clothes that is very expensive. And for example, buy from the second hand. It depends very on the culture. Yesterday, the day before, I had a class with all 3 students, and I found out that it's quite normal in Mexico to buy second-hand clothes, but also there is kind of, from the low-income people are buying more second-hand clothes than the higher income. And for example, in Lithuania, we have totally different situation. From the second hand, in Lithuania, people are buying clothes, those who has money, because it's why? Because it's very trendy at the moment. It's fashion now, it's vintage, it's boutique, it's very trendy. Instagram is full of second-hand stores and selling out clothes. Influencers, they are showing how they are going into the second hands and they are buying clothes. And I would say sometimes clothes are even more expensive in the second-hand stores than in normal store, which is nonsense, I would say, because it's a second-hand. And sometimes the same pair of pants is much more cheaper to buy from fast fashion brands. So it's quite, so I found out which is the situation here in Mexico, which is interesting. And there was a question like how you would, how I would recommend to improve that from the high income people would buy from second hand. And influencers, I think it's the best thing because they are kind of showing what is trending at the moment. And it's also, they said to me that it's quite cheap here in the second hand. So I was thinking maybe those from Lithuania who are like influencers buying, it would be for them, it would be like here, the second, kingdom, or I don't know, because it's for them, it would be here very good to find vintage clothes and it would be so trending. So they would be amazed here, probably. It's very good to encourage yourself and your friends to start to be a little bit sustainable. And when you are all together, you can make a difference, starting from yourself, your friends, your family, community, school, university. altogether you can make a difference. And talking about the citizenship is involvement together in some action. So this is the statistics Lithuania and international average of the survey that was made about the citizenship. And we can see that students, unfortunately, the numbers are dropping out to participate actively in activities in community, which is related to the activities, sustainable activities, to promote the sustainable way of living. And it's quite sad because there was one moment, like 4 years ago, it was, Greta Thunberg, that she was doing boycotting. So it was very trending. And this trend is, exactly, and it's dropping down, which is very sad. But what is, for example, interesting also, that this is the statistic of legal activities, like going to volunteer somewhere, doing some events, pay attention, like to ask politics to pay attention about the environment, what is going on in the world. But for example, if we see illegal activities, it's going up, the numbers. Yeah, it's increasing. Illegal activities is painting on the walls right here, but with some saying like, let's save the planet, future, and all these things. So illegal activities are getting more increased. But I would guess this, like, why is that? Because it's much more, easier to pay attention, attract attention with illegal activities because it's like shocking. And when you are doing legal activities, some events, asking the government to pay attention, they do not pay attention so much comparing with the illegal activities. If it's illegal, all the news, social media, everything, you can see the information of, oh, this is going on. So that's why these numbers are increasing for together with students. And in international level, students believe that that every citizen should contribute to reducing the pollution. Every citizen. It means not only government has to do that, not only, I don't know, like European Commission, every citizen has to be involved. And even 93% in Lithuania are thinking that every individual should be involved and think what are they doing. Talking about the responsible consumption, here is the statistics of students and their parents, like if students ask their parents during the 12 months to do these things. So first of all, refuse to buy goods made by the companies that employ children. So it's important when you buy something to check, for example, if it's made in Bangladesh or China, maybe it's better not to buy these products because most of the time they are hiring children. So it's better choose different projects from different countries, better locally. Refuse to buy goods whose production negatively affects environment. So students ask what they find by themselves. What is very popular, I would say, that they are buying organic products, which is it's expensive product. Even in Mexico, I found out, and also in Lithuania, organic products, they are expensive. So we want to be sustainable, we want to save the environment, but you have to pay for that, which is, I don't think that it's fair because the government also should support organic products and a sustainable way of living, not making very high prices. And okay, this is hard to see. So to be like sustainable consumption are made from personal and functional factors. Personal factors: awareness, concern, norms, values, traits, and the functional factors: knowledge, packaging, price of organic products, and social group influence. So the hypothesis of my research were to find out if the awareness has a positive association with the sustainable consumption and organic products. So these are different hypotheses. Information about the study. So there was students also question, male and female. And what is interesting, that students are willing to ask their family, to ask their parents to buy more organic products. They are asking to buy clothes or products that from the companies that do not hire children. And this study was made exactly in Lithuania. So they are willing, but I can see from the results that it's very hard for them to do that because it costs, because sometimes parents do not agree with that, because parents, they are used to live the way they live, and now you have to all buy organic food. And also, for example, meat and fishes is also not sustainable. It's also better to avoid meat. For Mexican people, it's totally hard to do that. Now imagine tacos without meat or quesadillas. Yeah. So it would be very hard. But to produce meat, to produce fish, it's also a very big emission that it's going into the world, to our atmosphere. And I just told you about the example of clothes. But if we think about the rest of the things, all the production. So if we are talking about the furniture, it's better also local, because everything what is about mass, they are putting into an environment a lot of emission, water, they are using a lot of water, they are putting a lot of trash outside, they do not recycle, they are trying to recycle, or maybe they are just making like a marketing thing about recycling. So that is quite a sad situation, and we want our world to be better, but it's hard. But what we can do, because when I was doing my research, I was reading all the articles, books, and everything. And when you find out that there is only a couple of years, or 10 or 20 years, or maybe 100 years for our environment to survive, because there is a lot of prognoses that if we keep doing the way we are doing, it's already actually too late, but at least some governments are doing something. So it's really depressing, I would say. And on my first year of my PhD thesis, I was so depressed that I was like, I didn't want to write my thesis anymore, because it was very sad when you found out that it's already too late, but we can try to at least to delay that end of the world. But I don't want to also depress you, because there is a possibility. It's just we have to start thinking. And then I was thinking, okay, what I'm going to do alone. Alone, I'm not going to change the world, but you can try. Because, for example, with my thesis, with my topic, I'm going to the countries, I'm meeting students, and I'm telling them this information and everything about sustainable life, ecological citizenship. So I'm sharing some, knowledge, some information with you in Germany, in Spain, in Portugal, now in Mexico. So you get a message from me, and then you can think about that, and maybe you can start change at least a little bit something in your life. When you do that, your friends do that, there is a circle. Then it's a community. Maybe you join some sustainable organization. Maybe you join some group, something like some volunteers. Then you are not alone anymore. You are 20 people, maybe 100 people. And then what you can do, what you can change altogether. you can do a lot actually, because when you are an organization, you can write petitions, recommendations to the municipality, to the government, and students are thinking, okay, I will write a petition, so what is going to change? Nobody is going to read my petition. They will read, because every like 4 or 5 years we have elections. Yes, politics, they do want that you vote for them. So you have, like, if you tell them that there is a problem, that our like young people, our generation, we want to have cleaner planet, we want to have cleaner city, for example. So if you voice the problem, if you say it loud to the government, to the politics, they will do some changes. They will maybe change something in the government just to make sure that they get your vote. And it's a win-win, because you win some maybe changes in your city, maybe in your country, and politics win because they win your voice, your vote in the elections. So this is very, very related, and all together you can make a change. It's just a very small thing. Sometimes you don't think about that, but when you start thinking, it's very related. It's like a circle, So you start with one step, and the second step, and you see that the circle starts to working. So from my research, I found out that students are willing to buy some sustainable products to save the environment, fight pollution, like to use less plastic products, etc. So since we are running time, so okay, conclusions very shortly. That, as I said, our sustainable consumption is based on the personal factors and functional factors. So if we try to at least, take some, like ecological concern, the influence of the social group, because you can have conscience, you can be aware, you can do something, but if the price of sustainable products are too high, well, you can be an ecological citizen, but it's too high. That's why we have to tell the government, the politics, somebody like maybe local community, you have to voice out your problem to make sure that some restrictions, something is going on, some changes is going on in the city. So, yeah, so I'm not going to read that one. That was like my short presentation about ecological citizenship, how to become ecological citizen, and how the consumption, our behavior, is related all together. And I really wish you to at least start thinking about your small things, what are you doing in your daily life to change your behavior, and also to invite your friends also to be more sustainable. And I really wish you to create your community, to create your maybe or the organization or maybe some volunteering group. And I really wish you to make some change in the world, if not in the world, at least in your city. If not in the city, maybe university. Because if you see that something is not sustainable at your university, you can also make a change. What you need just to voice out everything to responsible people at the university. So thank you very much for your time, and maybe you will have some questions.
Tiempo suficiente para preguntas. Yo creo que esta era una forma muy interesante también de abrir la siguiente mesa, que es sobre el medio ambiente, en donde finalmente la responsabilidad es compartida. No solo son los gobiernos, las industrias, las empresas, sino también la sociedad. Entonces, desde diferentes frentes, ¿no? Aunque pareciese que uno no aporta, sí lo hace. Entonces, creo que la búsqueda de una ciudadanía ecológica tiene ese sentido de decir, bueno, el individuo en lo particular también puede hacer su parte. Entonces, más allá de lo necesario que es regular industrias, de que los gobiernos monitoreen, pero pues también debe haber una responsabilidad ciudadana de la mano. Y creo que esto no es un elemento exclusivo de la relación de América del Norte, sino en general, ¿no? Es una situación del mundo, lo vemos a través ya de los compromisos de ODS, por ejemplo, ¿no? De 2030, pero este ejemplo, esta situación que ocurre prácticamente al otro lado del mundo, ¿no? En el caso de nosotros, pues es muy visible, vigente en este lado del planeta. Entonces, creo que esa parte es la que nos interesa y creo que abre muy bien también pensando en la siguiente mesa que vamos a tener. Pero bueno, tenemos aquí preguntas levantadas. There's more questions over there, so please, you want to do it in English, Spanish, or Colombiano, as you wish.
Maybe just try, I don't know how your English level is, but it's always better to improve, to challenge yourself. Because also the sustainable, the ecological citizenship is also the challenge. Okay. Google Translate.
Well, the first one, congrats for the presentation, was awesome. So, we have two questions for the presentation, particularly about the slides or the increase in the politicization of the students in Europe. I'm thinking that we have two questions for you. The first one is about the museums, the protests in the museums in Europe, and what's the impact that this sports to make maybe a kind of political awareness into the people, and maybe the results of these fields in the museums are working in the other way, And the second question is about the rise of the ecofascism in some political far-right movements in Europe. What's the risk to construct to the ecological ends to generate a radical change in the political awareness in Europe? Could send the people to the ecofascism movement? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. It's just I want to make sure what the word you said, equalization?
Ecofascism.
Ecofascism. Ecofascism. Okay, now I understand. It's a very good question. Actually, I would say everything in the world is about politics. It's even we are talking about the influencers. They are also they are saying that they are not taking part of any political area, but it is like everything in the world is about politics, but it's just in different fields. And there is at the moment also very trending to create your own political group, and it's called like sustainable maybe a political group or ecological political group, and they are going to the elections and they are trying to go into the government to be in the government and to make some changes. At least in Lithuania, it's very popular. We have at least two political groups that they are politicians, and they are participating in the elections, and they are going into the government to make some changes. So it's very popular at the moment, and I wish maybe you also could have that. Maybe you already have, because it's all connected, as I said. And about the ecofascism. I'm not the expert of that area, so I don't want to say something that it's not in my area, because I am more thinking about the and writing also in my thesis about the anthropocentrism and how it's in English, the name, now I forgot. The other two theories, I don't analyze ecofascism, so I don't want to lie anything. So I'm not the expert of that area. But politics, it's very related and connected, and it can make a big change. And even, for example, in the European Union, we have a parliament. We also have even a special department that is with sustainable department with ecological problems. And for example, if we talk about the departments of the European Union Parliament, there is different departments. The animals department, the fishery, marine, for example, and even these different departments like marine, they also have ecological part, like ecological department to make sure that marine is going into the sustainable way. Fishery, it's also, they have separate department about the ecological and sustainable way of behaving. That's why in European Union we have a lot of restrictions about the fishing, about farming. We have restrictions about all the things, just to make sure that we are controlling the situation, what is going on in the world. Maybe not in the world, at least in the European Union. We have restrictions about everything, and if you're not following the rules, you get a lot of fine. So we are in the European Union, we are very, very controlled, and we are, you know, everyone is watching, all the businesses. You have to follow the requirements, and if something is going bad, you get fined, or maybe they can close your business even. So it's politics, you know, because the restrictions go through the politics. Okay, so I don't know if I answered to your question, but because I'm not expert of that theory. Yeah.
The first question. And now I have a question. You say that in the world we need to understand ourselves and to make some changes in this type of things. But in the world, is there a model society that practices these kind of actions, or is only an idea?
There is in the world, in Europe, and for example, also in Lithuania, we have the groups, they are called organizations or associations that they are doing a lot of movements in the city, in the country, in the European area also. And it's not theory, it is practical, and it's very practical. Future for Fridays, for example, maybe you have heard, maybe you also have in Mexico, they have a Facebook page, they have like all the social media, and also they have the real organization that they are doing some initiatives. And these initiatives, it can be like a lot of, from different areas, from small events, you know, in the street. It can be events, for example, educating, doing some classes, lectures to learn others, maybe small children to learn, so to teach. For example, if there is like your age, you can, you know, go to the classes and educate students. And also talking about kind of illegal activities when you are going into the streets and boycotting the streets and voicing the problem. So it is very, very practical, and in Lithuania we also have that. If you don't have, for example, here in Mexico, in Jalapa, maybe you can together to create, because it doesn't cost anything to create a kind of a group like Future for Fridays. And it's a sustainable organization, like movement, saying to the world, that there is a problem and we need changes. Yeah, one more question? Well, plenty.
Well, thank you so much. I feel that this kind of information is essential for all kids and students and in general. I have more like a general question because I want to know how we as the students persuade the politicians to really improve and make ecological laws. Because I feel that at least here in Mexico, the politicians don't really care about it. I mean, during their promotion, they say that they will do this and improve this, but they really don't. And during this year's election, there was this problem where some activists collect all the political advertisements and put it in front of their buildings as a way to make the politicals understand how much waste they do. And they give them a letter where they say that they will do something about it, but they really don't. I mean, this has been over at least like the last 3 elections, and at least I don't know how I can do. I know the things I can do to make myself, I don't know, maybe more ecological, but I don't know how I can make them understand and improve that.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you very much. It's very good question, and the thing is that it really depends on the country, on the culture, on the society, about the citizenship also. Because as I said, you can start from yourself, but you cannot make change like one person. And most of the people, we are thinking that I'm the one person, I'm not going to make change because I'm the one, but I can change. And when I was writing my dissertation, I was like, also, I'm only like what I can do. I cannot change anything. It's just one person. But when you think about that, you start, your colleagues start, you are a group. Because Future for Fridays in Lithuania, there are 1,000 people. More than, I don't know how many thousands of people are in this organization. And citizenship is about being in the society, being in the group. So it means that if you have a society together, community that you are doing something together, and if as a city, for example, if you all together will have the same vision and you will unite, and you are not going to vote for that because you know that on the last election, they didn't do their promises. So if you unite as a city, as a municipality, as a community, if you unite, then you are not going to elect them. And there is an opportunity for you as a young person, like to create your own political organization that are like, because there is a lot of corruption, there is a lot of things that we cannot do. But if you are young people and you are not corrupted and you are like willing to do your organization, create your political organization, you unite with your city, and then at least you can start from the municipality. You unite, you don't vote for them that they kind of lied, like on the last election, and everyone starts to vote for you, and you go to the municipality. We start from the small things, you don't go to the parliament. You start from the municipality. Then maybe you can make some changes in the municipality. At least you don't need to change the world. You don't need to go to the parliament. At least it will be maybe enough for you to make some changes in the municipality. Maybe somehow your municipality will become rich because they make some changes, they're ecological, they are rich, and then other municipalities maybe will follow you in the like second generation. So this is like, it doesn't happen very fast. Now change from tomorrow. It's not working like that. But it's very small steps, step by step, you can start making this. Of course, I understand it's very hard to go to politics because all the corruption, money, and all these things, it's everywhere. But, you know, the young generation is for that, to make change, to do the difference. It's hard from the beginning, but when you start, I think it's a very good idea to create your own political organization, and it has to be not 10 people. You have to be a community. And because you're very friendly in Mexico, well, in Jalapa, people are friendly. You are kind of, community. So if you talk more, if you initiate, if you unite, I think it's possible to make some changes. Not to change the world, but at least your city. Thank you. Yeah.
Hi, thank you, and welcome to Jalapa. I just want to ask you, which are the biggest challenges for the Mexicans? I know that you have a very short time here, but which are the biggest challenges for this country on the region, like Canada, United States, to make this change to an ecological conduct, to make a voice in the region, make a voice in the world, to hide this impact of these subjects. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's what is good. Of course, it's not in our hands to do that, but in the international level, it's very good to be a part of some organization like United Nations, or, for example, as the European Union. When the country like feels passionate to be part of something and to do some changes, but the country has to like need and want to do that. So it's not on our hands, it's on the politicians that it's, on the high level, and they have to decide to maybe join some international organization that to follow the experience. Because if countries do not want to involve, or maybe cities do not want to involve, if it's good for them how it is, you cannot change. But if, for example, if you can maybe move to another city that they are maybe more motivated, passionate to make some changes. Because I know that there is some regions, I'm not saying that in Mexico, but in general, in countries, there are some regions that those that they are very corrupted and you're not going to do anything, it's not possible unless you know somebody and you have money. But there is some region that they are, very young, very passionate, and you can make a change there. So that's the thing, I think.
Maybe say Mexico is one of the most dangerous countries to make ecology activism. Since the history of Escazú, it's a legal protection from these people who make ecology activism.
Yes.
This is a dangerous thing. It's not so easy to make. For many people, indigenous people, some regions in the country, they experiment that problems, that biggest problems, and this is why I asked, what can we learn about that, the European Union, Lituania in particular, to make these small changes?
Yeah, that's why, like European Union, we have a lot of like rules, restrictions, regulations, a lot of documents. So these are, from the government are coming to us like little people. So this is, but this is also like a paradox for me, because you as a country, as a culture, I was in the archaeological museum here in Jalapa. Yesterday I was in Altahin, and when you see that you were actually your culture, you were sustainable in these centuries. because the people were making monuments, sculptures, not one time, but they were kind of making changes, and they were using these monuments in a sustainable way. And when you see the history and nowadays how it's changed, it's very sad. But at least, you know, if you do not make a change in the world, in the municipality, at least you can make a change at your home. So at least you will feel good about that. You cannot change a person, you cannot change his behavior, but you can change yourself. So this is, at least this is what we can do. Yeah.
Well, my question is about technology. How technology can contribute to fostering more responsible practices in the consumption and production?
Technologies is also not all the time are good thing to be sustainable, because technologies use electricity. If electricity is not made from the ecological way, it's not sustainable at all. So it's very small things and details, and that's why the local manufacturers, they are better, because, and for example, if we think about the 50 years ago, 100 years ago, when people were making everything by their hands, it is a sustainable way, because you don't use technologies, you don't use the material that are made and bring from China. You use everything local. What you grow, what you use around yourself, this is the sustainable way. And technologies may help, but as I mentioned, everything what is about mass, we kind of forget in the sustainable way. And for example, in the world, they are saying, or in Europe, they are saying that, oh, we are fishing in a sustainable way. Whereas technologies, they're kind of no sustainable way to fish or to farm, because if you are using technologies in farming, it's also gas, like oil or something. So most of the time, everything is more like sustainable when you are making by your hands and locally. Okay, so I see that no more questions. Okay.
Okay, firstly, congratulations. Not every day we have a conference like this, so I was excited. My question is it's more out of curiosity. Was there any specific reason for you to choose the industry of clothes for your presentation? I mean, what drove you there to research about this kind of industry?
Thank you. Clothes are the thing, you know, like when I started to dig in about the consumption, and there is like plastic production, and there is mugs and all these things that for me they were quite boring. And when I was reading a lot of books, articles, and when I found out like this information about clothes, I was like, seriously, my clothes are like doing, like putting so much emission? And I was like, I didn't figure it out. It's just clothes. And when I found out the statistics, I was like, wow, no, I have to share this with all the world, because these scientific articles, like how many times per week, no, not per week, per month, no, not per month, per year, you read the scientific article that it's in the scientific journal. I believe that nobody are reading these scientific articles, because they are not in magazine. They are not on social media. These articles, they are on the scientific books, that these articles, they are reading only PhD students or scientists, because nobody cares. When I was like in my bachelor and in my master's, I didn't care about the scientific articles, and you don't find this information so easily. And clothes are the best example in our everyday, because this is our everyday problem, and girls thinking in the evening, oh, but I will burn tomorrow. And when you are going shopping, you see so much, like so many beautiful clothes, and you want everything to buy. And but then when you realize how much it costs, not in money how much it costs, but how it costs the environment that you buy that clothes. So that's why it's important to wear the same clothes for a lot of years. And it sounds funny, but it is possible to wear the same clothes for 10 or 20 years. And maybe it sounds ridiculous to you, but for me, like all these clothes, they are more than 5 or 10 years that I'm wearing. And it looks like maybe you don't have money or something, but it's just a sustainable way. When you start thinking, maybe it's better to wear this like jacket for 10 years. Of course, for me, morally, I don't like that anymore. But I'm saving planet, so that's why I'm trying. Like these shoes I bought like 10 or 15 years old, something like that. When I was buying the shoes, I bought when my foot stopped growing, you know. So when it stops growing, you can wear it a very long time. So that's the thing. You somehow I'm not changing the world, but like a little bit, and just putting some effort that to additionally to save the planet. Thank you very much.
Well, on behalf of the University of Veracruz and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we would like to give you a present also from the organizer, from the UNAM and Orben, organizers of this encuentro. This is from Foreign Affairs. It's a book from historic
Wow.
knowledge.
Thank you.
And please receive also this diploma from your participation here with us this morning.
Thank you very much.